behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up in just a moment. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons below you there. And as always, you're going to be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section below if you like. We'd love to hear from you. And pay attention to the description part as well as the closing credits at the end of this episode. You're going to find contact info for you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Vine Grove, Kentucky today, we have Dustin Ray from the band Major Resolve. A very awesome artist. I think you're going to agree with me there. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Vine Grove, Kentucky, we have Dustin Ray from the group Major Resolve, and thank you so much for being on the show, Dustin.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the first question I always ask is because, everybody has their own story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how it began for you? I mean, I'm sure ever since you were a little boy, you wanted to be an artist. Maybe you fell into it much later. I mean, tell us in your own words. We'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, so I started, as a little kid, grew up around music. My mom and dad listened to music all the time, and just kind of I've been, immersed in music from a very young age, and always tried to be in a band and write music. And back in my early 20s, got to go out with a band and play, and you got to experience that a little bit. And then I stopped, and years later, I thought I was going to be done with it. And my wife and kids heard an old demo I had back in the day. And I'd been writing and playing music, since then. I just never tried to do anything with it. And, they said, hey, why don't you go just record a couple songs, just put something else out. And so about a year and a half ago, that's what I did. And so I've been writing and recording music ever since. So that's kind of how I first got into it and then got back into it, so.
Okay. Well, that's quite a story, and I'm glad you're doing it. And I'm sure you had many years ahead of you, obviously. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the artists that influenced you when you were growing up? I mean, I'm sure a lot of the legends come to mind, but give us a few of those.
Yeah, so my influences range. I like music as a whole, not one genre specifically, but some of my main influences have been or are Typo Negative, Depeche Mode, even Uriah Heep, which is an old 70s band. Those type of band, Queensryche is another big influence. So between all those have been my biggest influences, I think, that I think people can pick out in the music today.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember Uriah Heep back in the 70s. They were a pretty awesome band, and a few of those others you mentioned were pretty good too. So tell us a little bit about how we could find your music. I mean, I'm sure it's on all streaming platforms, but tell us where you're on social media and if you have an official website as well. I'm sure everybody would love to hear that.
Yeah, so we're on all the major streaming platforms, and the Major Resolve has a band page on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, and you can also find us on tatervisionrecords.com. That's the record label that I'm on, and you can find a lot of stuff for the Major Resolve and the other bands on the labels there.
Okay. Well, everybody go out to all of those major streaming platforms and social media platforms and check out the band right there. I know they would love to hear from you. And we're getting ready to play this song. Let's see, it's called Reflection. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that song? I'm sure it has quite a story behind it.
Yeah, so Reflection I wrote in response to what I was seeing uh, in society as far as politicians to Instagram influencers and just some people in general. They paint this picture of them having the life and having all the answers. Um, and they do that to gain, whether it be uh, political reasons or fans or money. And so I kind of wrote that song as me telling them, "Hey, look, uh, we know what you're doing. You're using everybody, and you paint this pretty picture, and really behind the scenes, you're no better." And oftentimes worse than the people you're trying to fool into giving you money or a vote or trying to have influence over. So that's what Reflection is about, is just those people, not being themselves and wearing that, "Hey, I got the answers," or "Look at me, look how great I am," when really they're no better than anybody else.
Yeah, and it is a great song too. I've heard it a couple times,
Thank you.
and I know you guys are gonna love it as well. But and we'll get to that in a second. But Dustin, want to thank you so much for being on the show today. We'd love to have you back again sometime if you'd like to come back and plug something new.
Hey, look, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and yeah, I would love to come back and sit down and talk with you some more.
Okay, well, it sounds like a plan, man. So anyway, here it is, Major Resolve with Reflection that begins right now.